I have a small message that I'm going to share with you, brothers and sisters in Christ, and we're going to open our Bible in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, from verse 1 to 8. So we're going to start from the first two verses. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the same measure you use, it will be used to measure you. How many of us, brothers and sisters in Christ, look at our brother and we be like, no, he did this. He's not from God. He did this. I can never do like that. Are we acting according to our own selfishness way of thinking, or have we been acting according to God's way? Because God's way will never allow us to judge somebody or to criticize somebody, but to look for the way to help them. And bear with me for a second, because I remember once when I first started having dreams from people that I was praying for them and having vision concerning them. I didn't understand how to communicate the message. So I will get to these people and communicate the message to them with pride. Like, I know, God has revealed to me. I know. And at some level, you might not be realizing it, you might not be feeling it, but at some level, you start acting like you are God. It's like you were getting those information by yourself, and people around you, they're going to feel like you've been controlling them, or you've been monitoring them, or you've been judging them, or you've been trying to measure them like they are lower than you. And when people feel that way, it doesn't matter if you were right or wrong, they won't listen to you no more. And you might be looking for the way to get things back to the right track. You might be looking for the way to make things work well, but it's already spoiled. Can you get it back? You can't get it back. So when God reveals an information concerning somebody in your life, or if you know that your brother is been struggling about some things, it is not an opportunity for you to judge them or to criticize them, but meditate on it and find the solution, how you can approach them and help them with that thing that they are going through. Because if you use that to judge them, you are going to be judged to the same way you have judged them. If you use that to measure them, to make them feel low than you, to make them feel weak, to make them feel like they are not worthy enough, the Lord will make sure that you feel that way too. Somehow, God will find a way to make you feel that way too. So be very cautious when it comes to judge people or to measure people. Make sure that you deal with them the same way that if that was you were going to carry it. Verse 3 and 4 says this: why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eyes and pay no attention to the plank in yours? Verse 4: how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eyes, when all the time there is a plank in your eyes? You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eyes, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eyes. It goes the same sense like the first two verses, but a little bit more deeper. Because you might be criticizing your brother around you. You might be saying he did this, he went up, so accusing him from all kinds of things. But if you were to check, if God was to display your background, people would have realized that you are worse and you are the worst man ever alive. But you are there, that person, because you did your one behind the scene. People didn't see what you were doing, so you think that you can just get away with it in front of human being, yes, but in front of God, God will display you. But one of the most bigger thing that we must understand here is everything comes from God. And self-check is important when it comes to this game. Because you cannot try to correct people when you are worse than them. That's why we don't even have the right to judge. Because we ourselves are not better than our neighbor. There's every person has something that makes them worse than their neighbors. Therefore, it's important to sit down and talk together. Find a way to be united. Find a way to work in peace. Find a way to be one in Christ. Because how can you love God How can you love God? Brother and sister in Christ, how can you love God? How can you love God when your brother is next to you, you see him properly, you've been disrespectful to him? That God, your brother is God creation, you can't love him. How are you going to love God that you have never seen him? Start from loving your neighbor, then your brother, then God. Because when you love your neighbor that you know him, God that you don't know him, there's a chance that you can love him. And I think, we're going to end up for today's in this video. And that was 17 on the beat. People of God, keep yourself safe. Next time, peace.